I think if there's one man today that didn't deserve this result, it has to be Mauricio Pochettino, because yet again, he created and found a winning formula against Guardiola's Man City. Throughout this whole season, he's consistently demonstrated that he knows how to punish and open up Man City, but ultimately, the job of a manager can only do so much. Managers create systems and tactics to put their players in the most optimum situations to punish the opposition. And Pochettino can leave today feeling like he did everything he could do. The rest, and ultimately this, falls on the players to turn the winning formula into a win. And sadly, we aren't there. The players let Poch down and they let themselves down. But at the same time, I'm sounding very harsh because we must accept the reality of this season. We've signed lots of expensive young players who are still very inexperienced. And they demonstrate this time and time again. Because these guys have the talent to go toe-to-toe against a Man City. But do they have the quality in their first year of their development together as a team to convert and punish teams like this? And the answer is no. There were a multitude of missed opportunities. All of them fell on Nicolas Jackson's hands, and it was very disappointing. We'll be discussing that later on. Outside of that too, moments of quality you want to see from particular counter-attacks, like Caicedo fumbling things. Right near the ends, when Ben Chilwell, for some reason, his head is on the ground. How he doesn't spot Raheem Sterling, who's fought himself to get in onside and get in that position to accept a cross. The fact that he doesn't play that first time, I think, is incredibly poor. And even little moments of quality like Mudryk, the final moment of the game. Can we at least put pressure on Man City and force something? And then the delivery misses everyone and goes out of play. We aren't ready to win. Throughout this season, we've shown that we are willing to fight to get in these positions, but we don't have the quality overall as a team to show that we are winners. Maybe in the market, we can look to rectify things a little bit by signing one or two players, but realistically, we're not going to fix this team just by having one more window. And let's say if we even sign Osimhen, that doesn't guarantee we'll be challenging straight away. We still must start working towards the game plan and improving things gradually and incrementally, hoping that a lot of these young talented guys like your Jacksons, Caicedos, and a lot of them will continue to grow, continue to get better, whilst we add some experience alongside them to help. That's the balance I want to see. And in games like this, it's such a shame that we have not been able to call upon Nkunku throughout this season, because in transition games, this is why we signed this guy. He's a transition king, and he could have been the key difference maker for us. But we can't talk about hypotheticals. We have to talk about realities. And one of the big realities today was Nicolas Jackson, because my God, he does all the hard things perfectly. And this is why a lot of us see the potential in Nico. How many strikers can play this type of game against Man City by causing them this many issues? He can carry the ball. He forces those Man City centre-backs into uncomfortable areas. He'll take them right up the field. He gives us a different outlet. He's got incredible pace. He was going toe-to-toe against Kyle Walker for a very dubious decision, which went against him, where, listen, if he gets pushed outside the box, as we saw with Mudryk right near the end of the game, that's given as a free kick. But inside the penalty box, for some reason, it's decided that it's too cheap and easy to give away. It doesn't make any sense to me. But this is a player that was constantly probing and causing a thorn in Man City's sides. Pep had to take off John Stones just to try and deal with the threat of Nico Jackson even more in the second half. And he has the potential, he has those capabilities to punish any team. But what he doesn't possess, sadly, is the finishing ability. Now, I've seen some very cynical replies on social media. If you can't show finishing at this age, it means you never have it. When I hear dumb takes like this, it actually blows my mind at times, because it's like, I know we're all reacting, we're all angry, but do you forget how this game works? Have you forgotten how most of the strikers that become the greats, most of them started off in a similar level? So I'm not using that against Nicolas Jackson. And if you're that angry, maybe this video ain't for you. And maybe go watch someone else. But the reality simply is he doesn't have that finishing technique right now. It's a big step up going from Villarreal, where you've only broken to their team halfway during the season, to then leading the line for a club like us, where the pressure is on you, the eyes are on you. is different. And I feel like in those moments where he must convert, I think these occasions are too big for him at times. He's the type of striker where he needs at least 5-6 chances every single game. And you're hoping that he slowly, incrementally boosts his conversion rate over time. Because right now at 22, he isn't a world-class striker. He's a talented player. That's all he is right now. He's raw. He's got something special to his game. But in terms of being the overall package, he is not there yet. And I guess we decide, do we allow him to continue to grow now? Or do we think we can't actually afford for this guy to grow? We have to go in the market and sign a Victor right now because we need results instantly. Time will tell. We'll see what we do this summer. I feel like, even though I'm bitterly disappointed, those chances where, for example, first half, he stayed on sides. Great pass by Enzo to spot him. And then when he tries to go around the keeper, that was when he made the mistake instantly. Because whenever Nico takes the ball to his left side, he don't trust his left foot. Doesn't take shots with his left foot. And when he does, there's absolutely no power behind them. That was the wrong decision. In those moments, you open your body up, you take your shot early. That's how you beat the goalkeeper. And he didn't do that in that moment. 2 other incredible chances. Second half. Conor Gallagher wins the ball back, plays into the path of Nico, who yet again is 1v1 against Ortega. But does he have the composure to put more punches around that curling effort away from the goalkeeper? Absolutely not. And this is the thing with Nico Jackson. From that moment, his confidence was down because in like a split second after not scoring, he has another gilt-edged opportunity where he's lost Kyle Walker at the far post. He's unmarked. There's no pressure on him whatsoever. And from a Cole Palmer cross, he wastes it with the tamest headed effort that goes straight to Ortega. And that was the moments. These are the moments you take advantage of to capitalize. And that is the difference between us and the Man City. We don't have the players for the moments that can convert and can make these things happen. And it's a massive shame. And realistically, it puts some things in perspective against Pochettino because there's only so much someone like him can do. He called for experience. He called for certain players in the team. He never got that. He's now found a way for us to at least compete where we're focusing on outscoring the opponents and getting goals. But in terms of the overall improvement and development of the whole team, it's not just, listen, Nico missed the best opportunities. There's going to be tons of media attention and fan attention on him for those reasons. Let's hope we keep things a bit respectful because let's be serious. We signed a guy from Villarreal for 30 million. We didn't sign someone from Napoli for 100 million. So there has to be some perspective around that. And on top of that too, I look at how we allowed Armando Broja to absolutely waste the season at Fulham. What could he have been doing if he had more game time where he's rotating with Nico Jackson right now? We don't have any other striker outside of him, so it's poor planning all round. But outside of that, you're looking at efforts from Noni. His finishing today, nothing's on target. Or he's taking extra touches before he's taking the shot off. I thought Cole Palmer, City were trying to deal with this guy quite a lot. He was very inventive. He's creating shots for himself, and he scored one of the goals of the FA Cup when the nice little dummy skill to open his body up, and he was going for placement around the corner. And outside of that, those opportunities weren't there. But it's a massive shame because we were regularly creating opportunities against Man City. We were regularly taking advantage non-stop of the wide areas by running through them. Poch set things up beautifully with that mid-block setup where we were so compact essentially. The distances between the striker, midfield and defence was absolutely perfect. We stopped Man City's pivot and Rodri and Akanji receiving the ball and doing anything. And we were creating a lot of issues for Man City, imposing and probing and asking a lot of questions from them. All our players were together. They were all compact, which was allowing us to constantly win the ball, to close those distances against Man City. The counter presses were working. We were regularly winning balls in their half and causing issues. But ultimately, that is where the manager's job ends. It's down to the players. It's a players' game. It's always been about the players. And sadly, the players, for all their efforts, for all their hard work, for the battles against Man City, for the bravery in which they play with at times. You have to be brave if you're going to be throwing your fullbacks forward against Man City, knowing that they can punish you on counter-attacks and behind. You have to play with balls and confidence, and I thought we did that. So I'm not going to sit here. I'm not going to talk down on the team and be like, these guys are crap, they're this, they're that. Listen, I don't do stuff or nonsense like this on this channel, yeah? I'm a Chelsea fan. I'm not trying to milk things for cheap engagement. I don't like cheap talk. I don't like cheap nothing. I don't do cheap anything in my life, yeah? I saw a young team today that tried, that wanted to win. They did everything they could, but there has to be a bit of acceptance from us as a fan base where we understand this is the limits of a team in their first year of development together. I think that is the reality today. That is simply it. Hopefully in the future, your Mudriks and your Nikos and all these other players, your Caicedos and so many of them, they're going to be better players in the future that become those difference makers. That's why we pay the big money for them, right? So they can become those difference makers one day. But at the moment, they aren't that. They aren't. You know, we can let our frustration out. We can say they're crap. We've wasted this. We've done this. We've done that. Or we can take positives from this result. Yes, it's disappointing that we're out. All we have left is hopefully we climb up the table to try and secure a European position that way. And obviously knowing that we were in full control for large parts of this game and that we ultimately couldn't take destiny in our own hands. It's frustrating. I'm feeling that. We're all feeling that. But I'm going to keep reiterating. I think there has to be an acceptance of this is the limit and this is the peak of what we can expect from this type of team this season, because if there was more from them, we'd be higher up the table, we'd have the Carabao Cup, and things would be completely different for us. But the fact that we can play a Carabao Cup final against Liverpool, where I didn't think we were good, but to then come against Man City, the best team in the league, one of the best teams in the world, and go toe-to-toe where we rightfully should have won that game because we made the better opportunities, we had more chances, our XG far exceeded theirs. That is something we can take from that, because that shows a big development increase from January to April in the space of 3 months. And I'm glad that Poch has finally realised this, and this young team, they're not good enough to do most things other than play to create chances, and hopefully they can improve gradually in front of goal. I wish we did that from the start of the season, but it's happening now, and at least that is the main positive to show that, listen, this football can produce something. It can make things happen. Right now, it's down to the players getting better. Right now, it's up to us to buy the right players to work alongside these young guys to try and balance things out a little bit. But you know what? Obviously, when the whistle ended, it took me maybe like 10 minutes to record this video. That's why I can process my thoughts first. Because listen, if I didn't process my thoughts, you'd be hearing a lot of nonsense coming out of my mouth right now about Nico, about Mudryk, about Caicedo, and so many of these guys. But I kind of feel, honestly, it's a bit redundant right now to be holding the type of energy where we're expecting, incredible top-class excellence from a squad that just can't deliver that and just can't do that. This is the best they can do, and at least it's building blocks for hopefully a brighter future in multiple seasons to come, because I'm not even expecting big improvements like that from next season. So my friends, share your thoughts and opinions. That's it. We're out of the FA Cup, and all we have left now is the league, and then we wait for the season to end. So I'm going to bounce now. Enjoy your weekends. Cool.